This is the reality of life versus the unreal words of the textbooks. Now, did an economic recession cause a revolution in Iran, as economists have claimed? Looking at global events over 3 decades later suggest perhaps yes. But not a recession on the domestic economy, rather a recession on the industrial world's economy. A strange but consistent equation that to this date remains unchanged and unexplainable.
That brings up this question, then how did this revolution happen, really? I mean, well, a lot of people are looking at Khomeini. I don't. I think, well, as we know, Khomeini hijacked the whole thing, but I put the blame on the intellectuals of Iran during that time. Now, I was 20 years old, mind you, and I left in 78 to come here to study and then go back and make movies or whatever, but because of the revolution, I never went back. But I was there. I was around. I was at Kanun Parvash Fikr Kudakan, and I was around intellectuals. And I would say 99.5% of these intellectuals had sympathy and were more towards Marxism and communism.
آرزوی دیرینه که برنده موفق بودم.
Reza Shah Pahlavi ascended to the throne on December 15, 1925, setting forward plans of modernizing the social, economic, military, and cultural institutions within Iran. However, realizing Iran lacked the skilled professionals necessary to accomplish these modernization plans, another plan was developed to train Iranians as specialists in various sciences and technologies. Government legislation was created in 1928 in which various groups of students were annually sent to foreign universities for an education to later serve Iran's development. Reza Shah sent the first group of 110 Iranian students to France in October of 1928 to learn the principles of progress and modernism in Europe. Ironically, among this first group was Mehdi Bazargan, the first prime minister appointed by Khomeini in overthrowing the Pahlavi dynasty. It was also Bazargan in 1963, during the onset of Khomeini's attack on the Shah, who published a letter supporting Khomeini while also criticizing and ridiculing the Shah for giving women the right to vote. Mohammad Reza Shah continued this strategy of encouraging young Iranians to study abroad and attend the best schools offered. There were thousands of Iranian students across the globe, from the most obscure colleges to the greatest universities. They were sent to gather an education they could not get at home. In the mid-1970s, every single student abroad was receiving a minimum of $220 a month to help them continue their education. The Shah was expecting the arrival of a huge corps of graduates, which would help modernize their homeland in the early 1980s. The date he was claiming Iran would surpass all the third world countries, attaining the status and luxuries of a modern class nation, and becoming what he called a great civilization. The classic family connection, the chain which connects the elders to the youngest of the family in traditional societies like Iran, was broken, and a vacuum was created between the parents and younger children of the family with the departure of the students who traveled abroad for an education. The older brother or sister, who was once the catalyst, the generational bridge, was now gone. The danger of this generational gap was not understood by sociologists nor by the government of the Shah, who constantly resisted seeing both sides of the coin. But this generational gap did not escape the careful eyes of the Shah's opponents, who perhaps had a tougher time in convincing the young adults with their charges and accusations against the Shah. They first started recruiting among the young kids, and in no time, those young, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, became a powerful army in the hands of the Islamic clerics. Their parents followed in a desperate attempt to catch their already lost children, who had been unleashed into the city streets to carry out the clerics' bidding. However, by following, they never got the status and respect they hoped to gain. Mass frenzy is contagious, and in no time, each individual tries to cross another red line, proving himself to others and proving himself worthy of attention. This set the stage for the not-so-bright intellectuals, writers, poets, philosophers, to claim leadership when knowing deep down that they were only desperate followers who were competing for a part of the status quo. Much of the student generation abroad returned home, jumping on the bandwagon and becoming pro-revolutionary to save face and to satisfy an expectant society. Other pro-revolutionary students remained in European and American cities, while serving the clerics in their propaganda against the Shah. All from the comforts that were created and funded by the Shah himself. The remaining students abroad witnessed in shock as the country they loved so dearly changed in a matter of days into something so unimaginable. unexpectedly having to settle their lives outside Iran, joined since by millions of mostly educated Iranians who fled the Islamic Revolution of 1979 and its aftermath, the Iran-Iraq War. Creating a vast Iranian diaspora scattered across the globe. Their status different from the past. Before, they were simply Iranians. Nowadays, depending on where they have settled, they have turned into Iranian American, Iranian German, Iranian French, Iranian Canadian, and altogether, global Iranians. Most of them uncertain of their true identity, with all the attachments and emotions for a cat-shaped region on the globe called Iran.